200 years ago, almost nobody talked about discipline as a personal struggle. Not because people were tougher, not because they had more willpower. It's because they didn't need willpower to stay disciplined. The world around them did it for them. Something disappeared, and nobody ever replaced it. Think about a monk in a medieval monastery. He didn't wake up at 4 a.m. because he was disciplined. He woke up because a bell rang, and everyone around him got up too. There was no negotiation with himself, no snoozing, no debate about whether today was the day he'd finally start. The structure made the decision for him before he was even fully awake. Now, think about an apprentice blacksmith 300 years ago. He didn't need motivation to show up and work hard. A master was standing right next to him, watching every move, correcting every mistake in real time. Slacking off wasn't an internal battle he had to win against himself. It simply wasn't an option because someone else was enforcing the standard. And go back even further to a small farming village. Nobody there was following a productivity system. If you didn't work, you didn't eat. The discipline wasn't a mindset, it was survival. The environment left no room for procrastination because procrastination had a real, immediate physical cost. Notice what's missing from all three of these examples. None of these people were relying on internal willpower. Not one of them was trying to manufacture motivation from nothing. The structure around them did the work. The bell, the master, the scarcity. Discipline was built into daily life. It wasn't something you had to generate from inside your own head. It was something the world handed you, whether you wanted it or not. Now, compare that to your life today. The bell is gone. The master watching your every move is gone. The scarcity that once forced action is gone. For the first time in human history, most people are being asked to regulate themselves entirely from the inside, with almost no external structure at all. Nobody is standing over your shoulder when you open your phone instead of starting your work. Nobody rings a bell to get you out of bed. Nothing forces you to follow through. And this didn't happen at a random moment. It happened at the exact same time that technology became extraordinarily good at exploiting the gap that structure used to fill. The apps on your phone were built by teams of people whose entire job is to capture your attention more effectively than anything in human history ever has. So you're not just missing the old structure, you're missing it at the worst possible moment, while something else is actively working to fill that space for you in a direction you didn't choose. This is why so much of the popular advice about discipline misses the point. Most of it tells you to fix yourself from the inside. Build more willpower, train your brain, detox your dopamine, repeat a mantra until you believe you're a disciplined person. And some of that can genuinely help. But it treats discipline as if it's always been an internal skill you're supposed to generate alone, when historically, it almost never was. For most of human history, discipline wasn't a personality trait. It was environmental engineering, built by other people, systems, and consequences around you. And that's actually good news, because it means you're not fundamentally broken and you're not missing some trait other people were born with. You're just missing a structure that used to exist for free and now has to be built on purpose. So here's the reframe. Stop trying to manufacture more willpower out of nothing. Instead, rebuild a small piece of the structure that used to exist automatically. Find accountability that isn't optional. Someone who will actually notice if you don't follow through, not just a note to self. Put a real consequence behind your commitments, something with actual stakes, even a small one. And surround yourself with people who make effort the default, the way a village once did, instead of trying to be the only disciplined person in a room full of distraction. You don't need to become a different person. You need one system that does for you what the bell, the master, or the village used to do automatically. Pick one thing you've been trying to will yourself into doing. Then build one piece of external structure around it this week. Not another rule you're relying on yourself to follow, but something that makes following through the default, whether you feel motivated or not. That's what discipline actually was, before it became something you were expected to summon alone.